Welcome to the XFO Intelligence Podcast, the channel for global family offices and asset owners shaping the future of wealth.
Hi, Chloe.
Today, we're tackling a question that's central to many long-term strategies. Where is the smartest place to establish a family office right now? We're going to explore a fascinating, almost futuristic take on this, centered on Hong Kong.
It's great to be here, Chloe, and futuristic is definitely the right word. We've been analyzing a strategic report for establishing a single-family office in Hong Kong, produced by the strategist Brendon Wong.
Right.
What's remarkable is that it doesn't just answer the where, but it completely redefines the how.
And what's really captured our attention is the methodology Brendon used, something he's termed Deep Augmented Thinking, or DAT. The report states this method was invented in 2025, which gives you a sense of how forward-looking this approach is.
Yeah,
It makes you lean in and ask, what exactly is that?
it absolutely does. The DAT method is the engine behind this entire strategy, and you can see its influence throughout.
Okay.
The plan brilliantly addresses the 5 big anxieties of setting up in Hong Kong: navigating regulatory complexity, finding top talent, getting access to the best alternative investments, constant competition with Singapore, and, of course, long-term succession risk.
So for our listeners who are in that exact position, weighing the Hong Kong versus Singapore decision, what is the breakthrough idea here? How does this strategy propose to win?
At its heart, it's about a concept Brendon calls adaptive resource oscillation. But let's break that down. Okay. It starts with a 4-phase journey. Phase 1, constraint mapping, is all about meeting the requirements for Hong Kong's new tax concessions within 6 months, but doing so with surgical precision.
And what does that precision look like? Because normally, meeting regulatory thresholds means high upfront costs.
Exactly the opposite here. The strategy suggests a hyper-lean start.
A lean start?
Yeah. Just one principal and one governance and investment lead whose capabilities are massively amplified by AI and RegTech. Instead of a huge initial AUM, it uses fintech platforms to gain exposure to alternatives, meeting the asset requirements without tying up massive amounts of capital.
Wow.
The goal is to get the regulatory green light with the lowest possible financial drag.
That's a fundamentally different philosophy. It's about capital efficiency from day one. So once you have that regulatory approval, where do you go?
You enter Phase 2, ecosystem formation. This is where the strategy's genius really shows.
Okay.
The plan advises allocating 15% of the portfolio to Hong Kong green bonds. This aligns with government policy, which can accelerate other approvals.
Right.
And it instantly builds the SFO's ESG credentials, which is a huge factor for the next generation, and it's a sound investment.
I see. It's a single action with a triple benefit. It's not just ticking a box, it's using that box to build your brand and your network. And how does it tackle the talent shortage?
With the same integrated thinking. Instead of just competing on salary, which is a losing game, exactly, the strategy advises launching a small dedicated SFO academy with local partners like HKU or the Science Park. This creates a bespoke talent pipeline. You're not just finding talent, you are creating it. You're turning a market-wide weakness into a unique competitive advantage.
Okay, so the foundation is lean, smart, and integrated. What happens as the office matures in, say, year 2?
That's Phase 3. Capability maturation, and this is where the oscillation happens. By now, compliance is 80% automated.
80%?
So the budget and human brainpower can swing away from defensive regulatory work and move decisively toward offense. Portfolio growth, right. The allocation to direct alternative investments is ramped up to 40%, and a formal governance framework is embedded to secure the family's legacy.
And the final phase, it sounds like it's built for the uncertainty we're all facing. Decentralized resilience.
This is the masterstroke for long-term survival. By the 3rd year, the SFO is no longer a single point of failure. It's a distributed network.
A network.
Yeah. Hong Kong remains the headquarters and governance core, holding 70% of the decision-making weight.
Okay.
But Singapore is activated as a strategic node for talent and market access, with New York for sourcing global alternatives. It's an architecture designed to absorb, not break, under geopolitical or market stress.
This brings us back to the thinking behind the thinking, deep augmented thinking. Let's try to define it. Is this just about using sophisticated AI?
It's more than that. Based on the report, DAT is a structured methodology where a human strategist uses AI as a true cognitive partner. Imagine the AI running thousands of complex scenarios. What if tax laws change in 2028? What if Singapore launches a new incentive program? What's the ripple effect of this political event? The human strategist, Brendon in this case, uses those probability-weighted outcomes, to design a strategy that isn't just robust, but is built to adapt in real time. That's the augmented part, human intuition amplified by machine-scale foresight.
Which explains how it can deliver such a bold claim, 40 to 60% lower operating costs. It's not from cutting corners, it's from a radical redesign of efficiency.
Precisely. It's about systematically replacing high fixed traditional costs with lower variable tech-driven costs. This strategy doesn't just offer a different location, it offers a different operational dimension.
Right.
It makes the Hong Kong versus Singapore debate less about place and more about philosophy. Are you running a static 2020s model or a dynamic, resilient model built for the 2030s?
It's an incredibly powerful framework that leverages Hong Kong's unique strengths in a way that feels completely new. A nimble, tech-infused family office that is both cost-efficient and profoundly resilient.
It makes a compelling case that Hong Kong's perceived constraints can be its greatest advantages if you apply the right thinking.
Now, here's a question we'd like you to think about. As we move into an era of unprecedented complexity, is the most important decision for your family's legacy where you are located, or is it the resilience of the thinking model you use to make all future decisions?